Welcome back to my vlog that I've been doing every day for the last 10 days on the road to recovery for small business, which has really been about me getting a new mindset so I can get back out there and start making a contribution. So it's fantastic. I've reached a milestone today with my 10th vlog, and that's where I started before. And before I started, I thought I'm just never going to make this, but I'm actually thoroughly enjoying it. And today I'm just super excited to have one of my friends and small business owners in Nelson Bay talking to us about their business, their family business. They've been in business like me for over 25 years, and just some of the challenges they've gone through and the phases that they've gone through since the pandemic started for them in January. So without further ado, I'd like to cut over to my friend Maree.
And I'm just thrilled that Maree's here with me today because we have an affinity, I think, with what we're going through and the challenges that we're having. So welcome.
Thank you, Narelle. A pleasure.
And I just thought I would ask you initially to give maybe a little bit of background about your family business, maybe the number of staff that you have, or just some general ideas so people have a little bit of an indication about what you would call your small business, but it is in a professional sense.
Yes. Okay. Well, we have a dental surgery in Nelson Bay, and we have 6 staff members, and 6 staff members and 2 dentists. So we have a combination of full-time, part-time and casual employees in that. And we've been there, it's been there for quite some time. Been in the community helping people for over 25 years, John has been. So we have quite an experienced staff, which, when we talk a little bit, that has been one of the positive, beneficial things for us. We've been able to, our staff have really stepped up, which has been great. Providing healthcare in the community.
Maybe you can explain how things unfolded as the pandemic happened with you.
So for the health community, so not just dentists, all healthcare providers, this has been going on for quite some time before, for example, the lockdown really kind of occurred. So we had, from probably the end of January, early February, we started having issues with supplies. That became a very difficult situation to ensure we had enough things to so that we could provide the care that we needed to be able to do and meet all of the standards. Dentistry is actually highly regulated with standards we have to meet. We've got standard precautions and transmission-based precautions that require us to deal with situations and with people in a certain way so that everybody is safe when they come to the dentist, our staff and our patients. So that was the beginning for us. That had been quite a tricky time. A lot of our energy was focused on ensuring that we could continue practicing with everything we needed to so that we could meet the standards. And then, of course, COVID really started to take effect in Australia with the government stepping in and, starting to put in lockdown measures, I guess. So we had gone from that point of the supplies being a real issue and managing that to then having level 2 restrictions put in place for dentistry, which required us to change quite a number of things with how we dealt with patients, what treatments we could provide, and managing the patients and explaining to the patients and educating them. So that for us, during all of this, we were kind of, I think we kind of delved into a bit of a panic situation, and that was kind of a little bit consuming for a little while. We kind of were really struggling to make everything work, how we could kind of keep the staff, going and kind of feeling comfortable with what they were doing and meeting their needs, but also patients, just trying to juggle everything was really very difficult, and it was all new, just like for everybody else.
How did you manage when you had that shortage initially? Because I know you've moved on and there's been more challenges.
It really was a team effort, actually. Everybody at work, we all knew what the situation was. So quite a lot of energy was spent on trying to source things. And as supply chains for us, our local suppliers and interstate suppliers, etc., as their supplies were drying up, it became even more difficult. We had to try and source elsewhere. So that's where a bit of panic came in, but it was a team effort. It was really us letting everybody else know the situation down there, and everybody kind of then, we were all aware and we all helped where we could, sourcing places, researching, communicating with some other dentists as well. We even kind of reached out with a couple of other local healthcare providers and just ensuring we all had enough supplies between us. So,
did you have enough, or did you get to the point where you'd exhausted some things?
We were fortunate, we had enough. The thing that helped us in a very strange way was when level 3 restrictions came into play, because that really limited what you could do. So level 3 restrictions came in, which made it that for dentists you could only offer emergency care. So all aerosol producing treatments were gone, absolute emergencies, nothing else. All you could do was just get them through a bit of pain relief and make sure they could make it to the other side of the COVID lockdown. So that helped us with our supplies. Yeah.
On the other hand, it would have been damaging to your business and your income.
Well, that was where we were stunned, I think, for a while, a bit paralysed for a short while. So we'd had the panic and then we were paralysed. We couldn't see how we were going to make it work. We knew we wanted to try and stay open because, people are going to need care, and the hospital system didn't need that demand placed on it as well. So our aim was to try as best we could to at least be available for some care. We were paralysed and for a little bit, and during that time I think John and we had some time, enforced time, where we weren't at work, and I think the reality hit.
What did you do with that time?
Lots of talking, lots and lots of talking, and we just made a conscious decision, I think, that we could either close up and just bide our time, or we could just work through the problems step by step, one by one, each day do one thing. And, on those days when we thought we'll do this one thing, we would manage to do a couple of others. That's really how we did it, step by step, and just putting one foot in front of the next foot.
So what are some of the strategies that have come out of this so far for you?
Well, clarity, I think, before the communication, because we were able to stand back and just look. We were really able to look at lots of different facets of the business. And by the problem-solving process, that showed us things in reality, how they were, and then how we could kind of go forward. We feel very fortunate. We've got an experienced team, and it was great, and it still is great. And being honest and communicating with patients, because we didn't want them to feel like, we didn't know what we were doing or we weren't available. We wanted them to be on the same page as us, that this is where we are, this is what we're doing, and try and keep it as normal as we could for them. So communication was a big thing. And I know for us at one point we thought we'll just sit back and not let people, we'll just kind of deal with the day-to-day. And we also made another conscious decision We're going to let people know we are there. We're going to communicate outside as well, rather than shrinking kind of away and feeling like it's not the right time. We decided it is the right time. We are going to use our social media, use our emails, telephone people and let them know we're there. We're only there in a limited capacity, but we're there if you need us. So, but we tried from our side as best we could to let our customers and our patients know, and also the wider community as best we could. So yeah, communication, education. So we're on level 2 restrictions as of Monday the 27th has just passed, which is great news. We can offer so many more services now to patients, which is great. We're still not back to our normal hours. We're just slowly, incrementally building that as we go. But we've got new procedures in place in the dental clinic now. You know, we've got time between patients, so much more than we had before, to allow us to do all the things we have to do for hygiene and health safety reasons. Even having one patient, you know, at a time, the crossover, eliminating that as much as we can, so the social distancing's occurring. So we're trying to put all of those things into place. So yeah, it's still having an impact. We've got a long way to go, but we feel rather positive about it because it's a step forward. And as long as we're making steps forward, you know, that's great. And we may have a step back again. You know, that could happen with winter coming on. So I feel like we've been there now. So yes, we've learnt from that. We could do it again. Yeah.
And what have you gained personally? Are there any insights?
One thing that actually, probably for both of us, a reinforcement of why we're doing what we're doing. So to have time actually to kind of sit back when you can't do the things you love to do, then you really realise why you love it and you miss it. So that's been a gift, I think, really. You know, we've been very fortunate in all of it. We've all had time. It might not have been when we wanted it, but we've had it. And it's allowed us to, you know, reflect on things. So
personally, yeah. Or are you talking about the business?
Yeah, we've had time for both sides of it. So, you know, and looking at how we want to structure things now so that, yeah, we can have the life a bit more like we want it to be. Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing your story. We're all in the same storm, and at the moment it's backed off just a little, and you can see that out when we're out and about, and certainly in my business I can see that it's backed off a little to giving us a little bit of respite, and as you say, it may come back again, but we'll be a little bit more prepared. So thank you very much, and all the best to you and your business, because small businesses rock and they're the lifeblood of Australia, and we really appreciate you and everything that you do.
Thank you. Same to you, Narelle. I really have enjoyed watching your vlogs as well. So thank you. And thank you for the time.
Recording. It was fantastic. It was so good.
I felt like I rabbited on and
so good. And there was not even I make lots of boo-boos, but you're speaking probably in front of class and things like that. You just had didn't have the ums and ahs like I do or anything like that. So I'm sure John will be very proud of you. So fingers crossed that I can make it work. I've recorded it. I've definitely recorded. I'm going to download. Not done this in this platform before, but I am just going to stop. I stopped recording.